I think we should make a start. Thank you for coming to this particular session, which is Reaching and Teaching Girls. And my name is Chris Fegan. I'm the Director of Women's Chess for the English Chess Federation. And it's my role today to be the chair of this session. And I'm really pleased about that. Not only for the subject matter which the panel will be discussing, and obviously then audience participation, but also how international this panel is. Because, as you will hear, and I will ask the panellists to introduce themselves quickly rather than me do it, introduce themselves and where they're from, you will find we are really blessed to have panellists from across the world, not just in Europe, but further afield. And I'm really pleased about that, absolutely delighted, because this is, as I think people recognise, a conference between FIDE, ECU, ECF, and the CSC. I'm absolutely delighted that the main governing bodies of world chess, European chess, and in this case English chess, are putting on a conference together on this issue. So I'm delighted we have international speakers which demonstrate that cooperation. So no more ado from me, because you don't want to hear from me. What we have is I will introduce the panels, or ask the panelists to introduce themselves going that way. James is here with the technical wizardry, who will now hand over the microphone indeed, to the first speaker.
Yes, my name is Maureen Grimaud, and I was chair of the United States Federation Women's Committee for the last 4 years.
Hi, my name is Kimberly and I hail from New York City, and I've been with the U.S. Chess Women's Committee for the past 4 years, along with Maureen.
Hi, my name is Tim Wall. I've just been appointed the English Chess Federation Women's Recruitment Officer as my latest role in chess. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kiragu from Kenya, and I run the Lighthouse Chess Club. This is one of the clubs that has an all-girls team that plays in the Kenya Chess Premier League, and I'm happy to be here this morning. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Olga Dolzhykova. I'm from Norway. I'm representing Play Magnus here today, but we're also running a lot of kids' activities in Norway together with Simon Agdestein. And so for this discussion, I will be relating more from this part of my job.
I am Dmitri, Komarov, Grandmaster and chess coach. We are with Olga from same city. We went same chess club. She is working in Norway. I am working in United Arab Emirates for Alliance Chess Club. We have a lot of clubs, especially clubs established for women, for ladies only. Some city we have only ladies club. So, and I will talk about our problems, our experience, how to develop women chess, yes, in Middle East.
My name is Peter Wright. I am from Czech Republic, and I am a chess player with trainee and referee license. And here I am person and author of a new Czech chess variant game, which is which can be very interesting, especially for a woman.
I guess I'm the first presentation up here. Thank you. First of all, I think I spoke a little bit earlier, and that is the girls. Push down?
Just coming up.
Okay. Our program started out with the girls' club room, And this started in 2015. Like I said, we have had anywhere from foot traffic, anywhere from 100 to 400 throughout the weekend. It's over a 3-day Friday through Sunday. This is at all 4 of our national scholastic tournaments in the United States. The girls compose about 15 to 25% playing in the field. We also bring in grandmasters, women international masters, to help analyze games, put on simul's. We also have chess puzzles. We've also had the human chessboard, things that are fun for the girls as well as their families. We've brought in a number of, because of the different ages from kindergarten, elementary age through junior high, and then as well as high school, we accommodated appropriately for each of the events. We also have snacks. We add snacks, and then we also like to have guest speakers come in. If they're attending a college further on, we like to talk about that to encourage them to continue to play chess. You want to keep on going? These are the pictures here from the girls' club's room. If you notice with the colored boards and the chess pieces, we deliberately did that to entice more girls to come in. We found that especially the younger girls, especially the new girls, it depends on the expertise of these girls. Some really gravitate to that and others don't. Some just like the plain black and white boards. We also have things like nail painting stations. That was very controversial, but the younger girls absolutely love nail polish. They say they want to, really give boys some ability to help them win the game. And then photo booth, we really encourage them to take pictures of each other and exchange phone numbers so that we keep retention, and we have seen a number of families come back every year. Keep on going. We had a special guest this year. Go down. We had a guest speaker at Disney World with Mickey. Actually, we didn't know she played chess, and she did a simul with our Jennifer Yu 2019 Women's Champion. Keep going, and we've already did the membership by age. Carol went over that. Keep on going. The regional events, these are different. These are supported by the U.S. Chess for women and girls. And we say women because we're really trying to encourage more adult females to play. And this is our goal, is to grow that base. In order to do that, we started the regionals with the Western States Regional in Berkeley, California, the Mid-Atlantic girls in D.C., Southeast Regional girls in Charlotte, North Carolina, the Midwest Regional in Chicago, Southwest Regional in Tucson. We've also are including working on other areas as well to grow the base again and encourage this. We try to have a minimal number. They do have to be U.S. Chess rated tournaments. We encourage them that the winner of those regionals then goes on to have a free entry into one of the following, the U.S. Let's see, keep on going. Go back. We encourage them to play in the national events, either the U.S. Women's Open, the U.S. Open, or the All-Girls National. Keep going. The new program that we did to promote moms this was part of the funding that we received, the $100,000. One of the things we've been promoting is women. So this was a school, Hunter School in Raleigh, North Carolina, to use part of the grant program to host a series of workshops showing moms play too as well. We also encourage the moms to play in the girls' club room because they're waiting on their girls as they come out of the tournaments. So we've had things for mom. All right, go to the regionals. The next slide shows one thing we did with the organizers on these regional tournaments is we really encourage creativity. We want them, since we don't know the area as well as they do, we really tried to stress come up with their own styles of tournaments. So, I'm sorry, back to the girls' club room. This is this is what the schedule looks like. And so what we do back at the Nationals, we put this on cards as to pass out like baseball cards as the girls are coming into the events. We also blew this up in poster size so that they could see.
Very good.
So they could, speaking of see, so they could see as the parents and players are coming through the hallway then what the schedule looks like and what all is happening. Alongside this is we also added all of the regional events and other girls' events to advertise, because these are girls coming in from all 52 state associations. And so we encourage them. So if they're from California, they're coming here, they see the girls' club room, but then they see, oh, there's an event in California. We love that. So that was something that we came up with. If you notice, we also had to promote, we had chess lessons in Spanish. Let's see. This is the All-Girls National. This is our largest all-girls in the United States. It's held in Chicago. He has done this since 2004. It's almost up to 500 now. And he's also added a day now for this next year to promote girls' self-esteem from being a girl growing into and developing into a young lady, and it's involving hair, makeup, and self-esteem, and just talking about encouraging women, girls who are playing chess to continue to play chess, and anyways, so that's a first for them. The next slide. These are the women's. The first place winner has her choice at the All-Girls National, the previous slide, as well as the U.S. Women's Open. This is all open to all ages. They tie this in with their own chess festival here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And then the other one is the U.S. Open. Let's see, and then these are the others, and so if anybody wants to look at these slides here, they show different formats, so we're encouraging them. Some come with participation of buffets, of different prizes, giveaways, certificates. They have it under, some do by age, some do by ratings. Okay, keep going, just run through. And these are the different, go ahead. And these are the different flyers. Also, let's see, we do have, excuse me. Some of the other things that we progress with is the some other highlights in innovation with women and girls. We really have encouraged electronic media for females through Facebook groups, ladies' nights, podcasts, Twitter, Snapchat groups, Instagram. We also have been doing meet and greets. That's something that we've done, started because of the National Girls Tournament of Champions, which was the top female from every state. And that was to encourage them to be able to mingle and have pizza. This was no parents allowed, no coaches allowed, 1 hour before their next round. And we did this in sync with the Barbara Denker, which was the male version. But some of the girls, when we talked about this, crossed over and played in the male because they were allowed to do that. And in fact, this last year, a female won the Denker, I believe, in the Open. I'm sorry, in the Open. Sorry. And then, but anyways, so these meet and greets have been extremely popular. The parents and coaches, because they would like to pull their girls out, they can't, because we say 1 hour and they get to enjoy just downtime. And they've liked this. This has become so popular that they don't want to leave and sometimes play their next round. The other items that we've done is at the local chess clubs. We've hold some of the clubs. They hold weekly or monthly events for women and girls. We've had movie nights. When Queen of Katwe came out, that was a huge promotion of girls' chess parties. We've also done monthly women's breakfasts with chess in the park. We've also, Colorado has just implemented a wine and cheese party for adult women. And then we also have had we've added mixed doubles to the tournaments, to a lot of the tournaments around the United States, and really encourage that. We're trying to work that towards national tournaments here. Working towards encouraging title females and past title females to get more involved with the girls' events. And then we have corporate chess leagues, so women all made up of women playing in businesses where they're employed at. That's something that we've been innovative with. Also, the mentoring program, the peer-to-peer groups, Girls to Grandmasters, which we have here, that I'd like for Kimberly and Karsten to mention. And then, but before I do that, we also have a butterfly group, 3 girls, 11 and 12-year-old girls. Because there were no girls in their club, they started their own club. And now they have 40 students in their club. And then sales and merchandising. If you notice, we have the hats. We've promoted hats. We give out free racers. Kimberly, if you want to show that. We also, I'm wearing the chess jewelry. It's all of the pieces. It's in pewter. But we're encouraging and working with U.S. Chess Sales, American Chess Equipment, and as well as other vendors about promoting and getting more female-friendly, women-friendly merchandise as well. And I think that is it.
Thank you very much, Maureen. Do you want to?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Kimberly, you want to add some comments?
I'm Kimberly, and I've worked very closely with Maureen the past 4 years as part of the Women's Committee. And my passion is on the Girls Club Room. And I think this is something that this program could be implemented in a small, you can start small, and you can grow it to the size in which we have grown it to. Up to 400 girls have shown up in our Girls Club room at our national tournaments. And what is so wonderful about the Girls Club rooms is seeing the girls come together. And while chess may not be their passion, it can end up being their passion just by virtue of the fact that they're socializing and getting to know each other. And as Maureen spoke about, we have everything from nail painting stations to human chess board games, and they even have a tower building contest where the whole focus of the contest is for the girls to build a tower as tall as possible with their chess pieces. And you would not believe the amount of fun the girls have working together to see who can build the biggest tower. So events like this bring the girls together, and I think that is instrumental in keeping the girls involved in chess because they have a social network that forms. And that can all be started on a very small level at even the smallest room at a chess tournament. And I would tell you that I look forward to every single one of these national girls tournaments, watching the parents and the girls interact and having a great time. And so I would encourage anybody that wants to help grow girls' chess to try and start a girls' club room, because that's what we've done, and we've just seen tremendous progress, and we just hope to keep moving forward in the near future.
Real quick, I wanted to add to that. In the Girls Club room, and this was extremely important, especially in the beginning, we had sign up for volunteers. Huge, because that helped the base grow in terms of getting more females as well as males involved in helping promote women and girls chess. Also working with the vendors. So at every tournament we have vendors, and we were promoting then by giveaways. So they would discount their merchandise to us, and then we'd turn around and give it away, and then we helped each other on that. And then any grandmasters that came in, we encouraged them to bring their service cards and their business cards to help them, and that encouraged them. And so they were donating their time back in terms of service, but then promoting them because they knew these girls were coming in from all over the United States. These were potential clients for them. Oh, yes. Does anybody have any questions?
Well, just before we do that, we do have a large panel, and what I would like to suggest is that I'm sure there are questions, but if you can hold them, and we'll have a question session for the whole panel at the end, because we do have a large panel, and I want to make sure everyone has a chance to contribute. And then if you hold the questions, we'll have a question discussion session at the end. Is that okay with everyone? Yeah. Thank you. Yes, please. So now we have Tim.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so my name's Tim Wall, as I said before, and I've had various roles in chess over the last far too many years. Obviously, I started out as a junior, then I worked as a chess teacher in my 20s. About 20 years I was a journalist, nothing to do with chess, in Russia and Azerbaijan. And since I've come back to the UK in 2016, I've kind of gone down the rabbit hole. I've got involved in all sorts of chess activities, and the latest role that I've taken on is for the ECF Women's Recruitment Officer. And obviously it's strange that a man would be doing this, and well, all I can do is say that I hope to do my best, and if there's anyone out there who would like to take on the role, you're very welcome, because I don't intend to hold on to it for any long period of time. I want to encourage other people to get involved. And that's really kind of what I think the role of people such as Chris and myself is to get more people involved. I would like to give a kind of a quick advertisement for what's happened in the English Chess Federation since Chris took over as the Director of Women's Chess. He has actually managed to, I think, is it triple, something like that, the budget for women's chess? So it's now these figures are minute compared to what the American Chess Federation has. I love the fact that just you were speeding through all your achievements there and you said, oh, we have 100,000 for this program. And I was thinking, whoa, you know. Oh, it's so impressive. And I'm sure people have lots of questions for the US Chess Federation representatives. We are just in awe of what's going on there. And we are starting out at a very basic level, I feel. I mean, I won't say more about what Chris has done, except to say that we have now a much bigger prize fund in the national championships for the women players. We've had a much expanded and better funded and better sponsored English Women's Championship, which took place this year in Hull, with fantastic support from the local Hull City Council and the Hull chess organisers. That was brilliant. We had there, we had special coaching sessions there for girls, which they ran in the same place and at the same time as the National Women's Championship. So that's all good, and there are training initiatives underway. Maybe I'll leave anything more for Chris to say something if he wants to. Just want to say a little bit about my experience taking over this post as Women's Recruitment Officer in the last few days. So I undertook my first initiative, which was to send out an email to all ECF members. And there's about 11,000 of them. And I got about 70 responses in 24 hours, which I thought was pretty good. Now, some of them were not that encouraging, I have to say. There was a very small minority, I think we're talking about 3 or 4 people, who actually, and by their names, well, I will not name them, of course.
No, I don't want, no name. No
completely anonymous. But I just have to read out 1 or 2 of them, which are mind-boggling. Okay, let's get it here. Right, okay. A member of one chess club in the Midlands, that's all I'll say, said, our average age is 58 and rising. Our venue is a pub. I suspect in 5 years our club will cease to exist. I was very, and that was not the only one of that kind of heartbreaking plea. You know, so these are older male chess players responding to this email. They want to do something, and by and large, people are asking for help. They do want some help. They want to know how to grow their chess club at all. You know, they don't know how to do this. And I think it's what's happened is that chess clubs, you know, there was many years ago, there was the Fisher boom, like in the US, it was also in the UK. But now those people are older, they're comfortable with their circle of friends, and it's about, instead of looking inwards, how can we look outwards? Another one, which of course I will not mention who said this. This person, male, said, getting women to play chess is like trying to set up a knitting club for men. It's not going to happen. And that person, this is what, not on anonymous social media.
Anonymous, please.
But of course we won't mention who it was. But this was actually somebody, a member of the English Chess Federation, wrote back in an official email back to the English Chess Federation saying this. And so, I mean, obviously, I would argue that that shows why this post is necessary.
We
Yeah?
actually had crocheting at our girls' club room this year. Set up for men and women.
Okay. Well, maybe that's what we should be doing. Yeah. Okay. Another email, which was more sympathetic, said...
Couldn't be less, could it?
I recently got the Institute, that's where this chess club meets, to change their rules so they treated men and women equally. There is a mixed bowls team. But obviously the bowls team is a little bit more advanced than the chess club. But I have to say that the majority of the responses were really positive. They wanted to do something. They were interested in resources, in knowing who to go to for help. And so I see this as very much a kind of, first of all, a listening exercise. We want to find out what it is that chess clubs need, what it is that we can do to help them. And also I see it as the beginnings of a much larger scale involvement to try to have campaigns to recruit more women and girls into chess. I won't say much more. My own experience in the last 3 years is that I currently run 3 after-school chess clubs at the high school age. And this shows the issue and the challenge that we have. In each of those 3 chess clubs, there is 1 female member. And obviously, I try the best that I can to involve and to encourage, but it's difficult. This feeling of being outnumbered and perhaps isolated is something that you really have to work very hard on. And I think that the initiatives that were talked about, such as the girls' club rooms in chess tournaments, are very good. Our junior chess club that I'm involved in running, we have a number of girls, including my daughter, is playing in this. She played her first junior tournament. She's age 13 now. And it was, because she's 13, it means that hardly any girls playing at that age group. So she was in a tournament which was under 18. There were 9 boys and her first pairing in her first chess tournament was against a certain Yi Chen Han, graded 215 ECF. That's like 2300. And I was thinking, oh my goodness, what do I say to her before she goes in to play this game? And so we practiced a few things, and then 10 minutes later she came out, and I was really, this boy Yi Chen is quite a prodigy, but it was striking that he didn't seem to have proper respect, and he tried some move that he wouldn't have tried against somebody who he thought was a worthy opponent. And it put me in quite a difficult position because, I'm his trainer, I'm a mentor to him in the chess club, but this is also my daughter, and I felt that he'd really disrespected her. So I'm not saying that I have anything like, lots of answers here, but I think the important thing is that we started. We started to do something. And I think that this was a point which was made very forcefully yesterday. Start with intent, even if you start small. But we have a target, which is to double the number of women and girls who are members of the English Chess Federation in the next 4 years. And I think that myself, Chris, and other people are going to have a really good go at achieving that. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Okay. Judy.
Yes, my name is Judy. I come from Kenya and I run the Lighthouse Chess Club. Chess is not something that I'm not competitive. I don't play competitive chess. But I do remember that as I was growing up, I used chess the chess as a form of learning how to go up the corporate ladder using strategy. At that time, I didn't know that I was going to be very much involved in chess. I got married to a chess player, and my daughter is a very good chess player. And I went into education, and then also did my master's in project management. Now I'm doing my PhD in project management. And in 2016, the Federation came to me and asked me to organize the 4.2 Africa Chess Tournament. This involved around 16 countries, and we came up with a very good event. And thereafter, my husband asked me to set up a chess club, which I could run. And since I had a project management office, I put the Lighthouse Chess Club as one of my portfolios. And I set it up. And at that time, chess was kind of like dead in our country. I mean, the events, the tournaments were very dead. There wasn't much happening. And we kind of like brought it back to life in 2017. We had very many tournaments. And all the other clubs started sprouting and also taking up the challenge. And now we have a very vibrant chess environment in Kenya. But since I had already done the 4.2, I also was doing several tournaments. And I was not too happy with the quality of tournaments that were in Kenya, because the majority of the adult players were, because I would have tournaments where we had the open section, then there was a ladies section, and there was a junior section, all playing in one hall, and the adults would bring bottles of beers to the tournament. And I didn't, as an educationist, I didn't find this proper. I thought it was appalling. And at some point in 2018, I did my last open tournament, and I said, I'm done. I'm done with open tournaments. I'm going to concentrate on juniors. But one thing that we did is come up with an all-ladies team in 2018. And this is because we wanted, Lighthouse wanted to participate in the Kenya Premier Chess League. And we wanted to do it in a different way. We were not too happy with the way the ladies were being treated. Majority of the ladies who were playing chess did not have jobs. They had gone to college, but they didn't have jobs. And we found that they had a very low self-esteem. And just like you said, they're not being treated fairly by the men. And so, and the Kenya Premier Chess League has 5 boards. 4 boards for the guys, and the 5th board, which is the weakest board, for the ladies. And we said we're going to do it differently. We're going to come up with an all-girls team, and they're all going to play from board 1 to 5. And we're going to try and prove to the girls that they're equally as good as the men. And it didn't matter whether they're playing the top board or the last board. You know, they were all fit enough to play against the strong guys. And obviously, we made a statement, because since then, the girls, I mean, we had weekly trainings, regular trainings. We provided material for them, videos, puzzles, and of course, we also selected tournaments that they would participate in, so that they would also be active in the chess scene. And this year, well, what happened last year is that we had our first National Junior Chess Championship. And through that also we managed to reach out to very many juniors. And the number doubled. Last year it was 900. This year it was 1,600, and the number doubled. And we've been reaching out to the kids through the schools and the homes, the children's homes. The club actually goes to various schools and taps into, either sets up a club for the school or does training for the school, or one way or the other, they enable us to get kids that we can train. And so we've been able to get more kids to join the club as a result of our outreach. And so we are concentrating on the ladies and the juniors. And the juniors are mixed because we believed that we need to bring up a crop of players who had respect for women on the chessboard, and not what we had initially seen where the veterans felt that the ladies were lesser than them. So the young players that we have are now able to play with the girls on an equal playing field. And so, whereas we still have the ladies, we also have the juniors who are mixed boys and girls, and we make sure that there's no segregation or any separation in terms of the way we apply the training or the treatment to any of the players. Some of the programs that we do is that when we are in training, we actually empower the kids by enabling them to train as arbiters, because then they're able to spar and play against one another, to have tournaments amongst themselves. And again, it's equal treatment to all. Of course, we also expose them to the lesser people who are who've got less advantage in the community. Like when we had the Uganda Open this year, was it 2019? In April, we went to the School for the Deaf, and we had the Lighthouse Team actually training the kids at the School for the Deaf, and we saw that what we are doing for them is that we are empowering them, even if they do not get something to do with from academics, they can actually form a pool of trainers that we can use to reach out to more children, to more people, to set up more centers to train and create employment for them. And they really enjoy that. So they train as arbiters and they train as trainers, and we also make sure that they have the material. So this year, also end of this year, we're going to see a couple of our players going for the representing Kenya to go and play in some major tournaments in Africa. But our main thing is also, in as much as, yes, we would like the players, not all the players are going to be competitive players, but one of the programs that we run is to empower them so that we build their self-esteem and make sure that they feel comfortable and confident, and they have a voice to speak out against any issues that they might not be happy with or about, and they can also transfer the chess skills to their normal life skills. And for those who are very, very good chess players, we nurture them to be national players, so that then they'll be able to compete at the national platform and continental platform and on to the international level. And yeah, so that's what Lighthouse does, and I believe that we've, in the last 3 years that we've been in existence, we've seen a lot of progress, a lot of growth in Kenya, and we complement the Chess Federation. We're not in competition with the Chess Federation, and they appreciate what we do. Thank you.
Just before we move on to Olga, I just want to quickly use chair's privilege here to say that I had the pleasure of going to Nairobi to visit some schools this year, because chess in schools and communities, we have schools in Nairobi, and I met some of the people you were talking about who are making their way through the national teams, and it was such a wonderful experience to go to these schools in Nairobi and see how all the young people were loving their chess and playing their chess. And the little part that CSC were playing out made me quite proud, actually. So you have a very thriving...
yeah, we have a very thriving environment. It's quite exciting to see, because last year the national junior chess had 900 players. This year we had 1,600, and every other school is calling for chess in school, and we don't have the trainers. And that's why we're telling them that in as much as if you don't gain employment, outside, then there will be something for you to fall back on because of your chess. That is a form of empowerment. Yeah, thank you.
Olga.
Hello, yeah, I'm Olga, and I've been working in Norway for the past 7 years, and I have some surprising observations that I want to share, and I wonder if it's country-specific or others experience something like this. To start with, female empowerment is really, really well developed in Norway. So it's a country of strong women that go to the gym, that compete, that have good jobs. So in the sense, they are not intimidated by men, and they don't have any emotional or other types of problems to join and compete against boys. At the same time, we also have problems with the numbers of females in chess, and I think it's connected mostly to competition from outside. That is, there are so many offers to children and juniors coming from outside, all different footballs and sports and dancing and whatever. So in the sense that chess is competing not gender-wise inside, but like against football. So I know if we have kids in the club who go to both like football and chess, football is always a priority. So we have the best seasons in winter and so on because of this. Yeah. And when it comes to girls, we organize a lot of camps at all levels and schools. So I have the possibility to watch how kids behave at all levels. And I see that there is a crucial difference between beginners and professional players. When kids first come to the club and they are beginners, of course they want to feel safe. And to feel safe, they need to see someone who is peer to them. And it can be age, it can be level, which are actually two first priorities, and then gender. So of course if they see someone who share the same parameters as themselves, they immediately feel safe and they start learning. And naturally, these girls, they enjoy socializing with other girls because they feel that they're kind of more equal in their group. But as soon as they start playing professionally, suddenly we see something else, that they don't want to be separated. I remember once, at the very beginning of my work, we were organizing a talented youth camp, and we had a lot of girls in that season. And I thought that it would be natural to group them. So we tried once to put all the girls in one training group, and we had several groups with boys. And after this training camp, I suddenly got several mails from parents saying that, you know what, you are sending a bad signal, a wrong signal to girls, that you are separating them from boys. Like we are sending a signal that they are not good enough to compete at the same level with boys. And I remember we never did that mistake again, of course. So we just sent them to their level and to their age group since then. And I also see that as soon as girls learn something and they start winning, that's the moment they don't want to be separated anymore. They enjoy winning and they see, okay, I can win against anybody, boy or girl, I want to compete against everyone and not inside my group. And I think this is the reason why all girls or female championships are very unpopular in Norway. So I really wanted to listen to US Federation, how they manage to get so many girls play, and also seems like enjoying a lot their tournaments and only girls events. And I'm really curious to see if it's connected generally to the numbers of population in US compared to Norway. Naturally, so it's just you have so many girls that you manage to gather them together, or you do some tricks that you succeed. Because I know when we organize like women or girls championships, it's really a struggle how to normally even force them to play in these events, because they just don't see why they have to compete in this small group if they can compete against everybody else. When it comes to women, of course, we have a so-called Magnus Effect, something very specific to Norway, that TV is sending chess sendings live on the first TV channel, and the whole population is watching it. And after each such sending, we have a huge boost of people who want to learn to play chess just from scratch. And normally it's 50-50 male and female. And I see that for adult women, there is no problem if they're in the group with women or with men. I remember that a month ago we had a beginner group where I had 6 women and 1 guy, and another woman was considering to join the course. And I told her, oh, you know, this time we have such a nice group, 6 women and 1 guy, perfect, just join. And she said, no, I actually like guys, no problem for me to join another time. So, yeah, would be interesting to discuss afterwards what it can be connected to. Thank you.
Thank you. Now,
Is it
Dmitri.
me, Dmitri? Okay, I'm started to work with in United Arab Emirates with men and boys. 7 years I worked. After I went to Sri Lanka, worked with national team, and a little bit understood how to work with girls. And when I was asked again to join Alliance Chess Club, which they have girls and boys session, I told myself, okay, now I am ready, because Muslim girls, they have some specifics, yes. And we have, for example, we have in our club, we have large villa with 3 buildings. One belongs to women's section, boys section, and 1 building is Asian Chess Federation, which is also supporting our club to go for some competitions. And okay, we are very proud in UAE. We have one of the best gender balance in the world. We are second by percentage of women chess players to men. And also, if we see our last main competition, we call it President's Cup, was 17 men players and 20 women. Yes, so. And also, boys was 46, girls was nearby 34 also. And also, we have some some chess clubs, they have boys and girls sections. Some they have separate. For example, okay, it means different management clubs. And our clubs, they have in same building all girls and boys. For example, largest chess club in the world, they have only men club. But in this January, they will make open for ladies, so it will be in men club. Also, countries, we have rule, okay, for local people. Every club management must have 1 lady. Yes, so it's good rule. Even men club, they include 1 lady. Also, we have arbiters. Okay, some percentage should be arbiters lady, because we have so many ladies tournament. And okay, running like this. Why it's happened? Because we have huge support. Okay, everything in UAE is supported by government. We have not any initiative from our side to go to school, to go, okay, it's also should be permitted. And, okay, first, And government paying salaries for coaches, for staffs, providing bus transportation absolutely free. Some good players getting also some salary from clubs. And second thing, okay, I asked my students in United Arab, in my club, besides chess, if you have no chance to go chess club, where you will go? So they told, okay, some handball, volleyball, and jiu-jitsu was surprise for me. Yes, and only few sports because we cannot do outdoor sports. Yes, we should be indoor all games because of climate and because of ladies' weather. No weather, okay, ladies wearing of such hot weather. So, okay, where we have problem? Problem we have because of, for example, boys leaving club, they are getting first car at 18, first car, they are getting driver license, immediately parents buying to them cars. And like my students, BMW 7, like these cars. And okay, not interesting much. And girls, okay, parents, you know, okay, more strictly, they sending to university, also they're like, but we have programs to be arbiter, to be managers, they all like to be international arbiter. We have also one of the best percentage maybe in the world of numbers of international arbiters, maybe #1, yes. So, by the way, same happened in Saudi Arabia. I checked recent tournament after FIDE made some blitz and rapid. What happened? I saw recent championship and was 54 men and 36 ladies who believe in Saudi Arabia such percentage. For example, we have our border, my home, and from 2 kilometers Omani border, it's not same situation. Government not supporting, and okay, they not have much ladies player. But problem is we are getting not from, you know, we have we have lack of coordination between clubs and school. And we are getting players only by families, you know. But families became large and large, you know, people living better. So we are happy, but of course we have lack of publicity. Some school not allow, some school, you know. Okay, people, problem is, for example, who is sport coordinator, for example, before he was interesting and we implement chess in school program. After some minister change like this country running, it's not. And some person not interesting. So yes, Mr. Mensch, yes, thank you very much. Like this, oh, much better. About Sri Lanka. Also very growing country. I was in Sri Lanka from 2017 to 2018. They have an unbelievable number of small players, girls and boys, who played around, okay, each category. Like what, okay, they have a little bit different. They have to select for world championships, so they have under 9, 11, 13. Each competition they have around 300 players, boys, and like 150 girls, you know, and only winner getting everything, going some competitions. You know, this to win tournaments they should may score like 9.5 or from 10. Unfortunately, in Sri Lanka, okay, it's not so rich country, only all in parents' hands, yes, and okay, federation trying to support, okay, giving some part cost of tickets, but all going to parents, and you know, it's, I don't believe how I saw Indian parents, Sri Lankan, okay, how much salary must be to send your kids outside country, some world competition. So also very growing country with big number of girls and also schools interesting, yes. In every, by the way, okay, Sri Lanka, they have 150 coaches licensed by FIDE. And chess instructors like this, chess. So it's a huge, yes. Okay, so, I saw in Kenya, by the way, you have number 12 Kenya by also gender balance. How it's your girls? Yes, so a lot we have. It's surprisingly, yes. Okay.
Right, thank you very much, Dmitri. Peter.
Thank you. My name is Peter, and I would like to share with you my experience from board game development and meeting about this with people. First question: do you think that chess is easy game or hard game? Very easy. Yes. Thank you. And I ask this question a lot of people last 10 years, which I spent in, I can say, development of board games, etc. And from chess players was this answer: yes, it's easy game, no problem. But from different persons, no, chess is hard game. Yeah. So they have preposition of chess in basic point. Yeah. So in this connection, there isn't possibility to find more girls for chess because their parents usually say no, chess is too hard for her, chess is too hard for play. Yeah. So this is I think one point which is key factor of I can say, for more people in chess. We can see the Magnus factor in Norway, 50-50 girls, boys. Yeah. So it is only preposition. Yeah. Girls can be tough and good at chess, same like boys. Yeah. They can play the chess the same. It is not about fighting game. Yeah. I saw, for example, chess set in some supermarket, and there was some cyan, and there was kind of fighting game or kind of this description. Yeah, it is idea people for marketing. Yeah, chess is especially for boys, so we can place them this. It will be for them cool. Yeah, but if they read, "Mom, this sentence," they don't buy this game for a girl. But about the game, yeah. So the preposition is kind of wall, yeah. And how to break the wall? How change mind of the people about chess in general, yeah. From my point of view, and I'm a board game author, it was question, and I developed a new variant game. The new variant game is without queen, without king, so there isn't kind of fight. There isn't capture, yeah, and the goal of the game is place 8 pawns, yeah, and you place the pawn on a square where I'm 3 pieces, yeah. So this is a game without capture, without fight. And you can play it easy. My experience is that this game is more acceptable for everybody. And my experience is that this game can overcome the preposition about chess, that chess is a hard game. Because after they will familiar with this game, they can start easy classical chess. Yeah, so this is my idea from this area. Yeah, and about the social groups. Yeah, I remember my childhood. I was maybe 6-7 years old when I started with chess. I remember some groups of children, and if somebody left chess club, next one, his friend left too, etc. Yeah, so it is about social groups. So it is good, or for trainer, it is task to make big social group. Yeah, so it is next point, to big social group, and then there is chance that if some person, some child leave the club, next one don't leave because they will part of the big social group. So it is task for trainers. So this is my experience and my speech about this topic. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Right, we have about 25 minutes, I think, which is great, left for questions, discussion, comment. So over to you. Yes.
Chris, I just think you're in a brilliant position in running 3 after-school secondary school chess clubs that girls won't join or haven't joined in great numbers. You're in a great position to do a little bit of research. If I were you, I would just issue a very, very simple survey to all the girls of the school and say, there's a chess club in the school, you haven't joined it, would you mind just quickly writing down the reason why, or reasons why you didn't join? It would be a very rich set of information as to what... I know it's not the same as we've talked about why girls drop out of chess, but it would be very interesting to see, you've a big cohort of teenage girls there, to see what is it about chess that puts them off. Just a suggestion.
Maybe just also that same email should just ask them to join the chess club. First of all.
That could be an unintended consequence as well. You may get answers back saying, I didn't even know there was a chess club. I would be interested. You know, even thinking about why they didn't join might actually prompt some of them to say, you know something, I should actually give it a go. It might be fun, you know. So I just think you've got such a large number there, you could actually get quite a lot of interesting information.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. I'd just like to maybe make a comment to the gentleman at the far right about chess being easy or hard. If you introduce chess to youngsters, then you'd actually break down that mental thought that chess is hard or chess is easy, because since it's a progressive mode of learning, then they just slip into that playing chess. And before long, then you will be able to know who are going to be competitive players and who are going to use chess for as life skills. So, I mean, for me, I'm a bit, I wouldn't dwell on that question of whether chess is really easy or hard, because it depends on how you introduce it and at what level you introduce it. Then,
Can I react?
Yes, sure.
It is situation when you are in the chess club already, yeah. But I try to describe situation before the decision to go to chess club, yeah. People have preposition that chess is a really tough game, and that they children are not, I can say, ready for it, or they don't have ability to play chess. Yeah. So this is a situation about before the first step to go to chess club. Yeah. So change mind all people. Yeah. Change mind all people. People really thinking that chess is really hard game, and it is my experience from a lot of meetings with person. When I ask question. I have here new abstract game, not this one, different one. Do you want to play this logical game? Oh, logical game. It's not so for me. It's too hard for me. Logical game, no. Yeah. So this is the situation. Yeah. And if we will change this kind of thinking, then we have chance to invite people to chess club. Yeah. come in. It's easy for you. Don't worry. Yeah. Then we have chance to work with them like you described. Yeah. But before we have to break the wall.
Okay, if you have another contribution from the floor, please.
Yeah, I've heard two alternative views about teaching youngsters in separate gender groups and in mixed gender groups. Olga definitely goes for mixed, and I think Judy agrees with mixed. And I'd like to take up Judy's point. My own children were brought up in mixed group in a club, and I wrote to my daughter, who did very well in her chess, and said I was coming to this conference. And she said, empowerment, the title of the conference, empowerment is an overused word. She says, I prefer gender integration, where the boys learn to respect the girls' skills and consider them as equals. And I think by separating out just having girls-only groups, the boys don't get the opportunity to meet the girls, and this is why they sort of despise them, look down their nose at them. So I think the boys should learn with groups of girls as well. That's one point I'd like to make. The other question for Judy, I was very interested in the idea that you teach your children the arbitering skills as well. I mean, presumably when they're 12 and above or something. We do have some young arbiters in England who've come up. I think Tom Thorpe, who's now about 22, he started arbitering in the 4NCL at age 12. I beg pardon, 18. About 18 he got his exam. We have Helen Archer-Locke as well. But the idea of learning the rules of chess to such an extent that you can correct your players and bringing people up to understand the rules a bit more, I think is another way of leading to respect for all players, whether they're male or female. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I think there was a question over here.
Hi, firstly, just on April's point, I also run a secondary school club, and we have the same issue. 60 students can come through in one lunchtime, 57 of them will be boys. Just as an experiment, we put chess sets and boards in the school library so that students could play whenever they fancied it. And you find that it's predominantly girls who will play when no one is watching them. So I approached them and said, would you like to join a club? Would you be interested? And it was an overwhelming no. And the feedback that we got back was that they are very, very unwilling to put themselves into positions where they might potentially embarrass themselves. It's very much what you said yesterday about that sort of quest for perfection. It would be interesting if you got the same results. But my question is, have any of the federations had successful partnerships with pre-existing girl-only organisations, say Girl Guides or Girl Scouts? And if they haven't, do the federations think that there is potential there for successful partnerships and engagement, and how would they see that working?
Right, can we have panel responses to last two contributions, please? Who's first?
I'd just like to understand, are you talking about girls not feeling confident enough to play?
Yeah, it's more that it's not that they don't like the game of chess, it's that they don't like the idea of potentially publicly losing something.
I think that is something that we had to deal with, because a lot of the girls that we had in Kenya felt they were less superior, or they were not equal to the guys, and we had to do a lot of talk to them and empower them and give them a voice, ask them to speak out and not to worry about making mistakes or losing, but that they should just rise up to the challenge. And it did take us well over a year to get them to be comfortable enough to start playing. I mean, last year we formed the girls' team, and we told them, you know what, you are going to be playing on board one. Now, board one is ideally a male board for the strongest player, and we told them, you are equally tough enough to play there. And I think it depends on you. If you are the one in charge of the club, you have to play a role of empowering them, giving them a voice, encouraging them, and giving them exercises which will actually give them the confidence to rise up to the task.
No, I just wanted to add something about this not having confidence. We had an interesting experiment because we're running tournaments for kids which have like age groups for kids, and they compete within their age groups. And then some years ago, we tried to introduce a beginner group. And at the beginner group, they can play at any age, just if it's their first year in chess. And I was actually against this idea. I thought, okay, what's the difference to play like in your age group or beginner group? But suddenly it was so popular that this beginner group has much more numbers of participants than age groups. And we let them play in this beginner group for 1 year, and they play there some really many months. They play in that group until they feel confident to move on. And I think it was a very good step into trying to connect scholastic chess and competitive chess together in this way.
Yes, that's actually, to answer your question, that actually is why the Girls Club started. And the first thing we did before we started the Girls Club was we had a, 4 years ago, we had a town hall meeting. This brought all of the chess coaches, the parents, the players, the sponsors, the vendors, everybody together, and we just brainstormed. And one of the things that came out was that we had talked about, and that was we had to lay a foundation. You're talking about female arbiters. In order to really focus on the female player itself, we really had to lay the groundwork or the highway system to do that, to make it conducive, and that was to encourage, to grow more female coaches, female organizers, female sponsors, female vendors, female back office TDs, female TDs, and over that time, all of that has increased because of that since then. In terms of what the clubs actually would like to see is we really focused on that player to find out what they wanted. Because sometimes we as adults think we know what they want, but we don't listen to the actual 5-year-old or the 7-year-old player or the 11-year-old. And because of that, it really, really helped their input coming into it. And we evolved into these clubs of what we see today. So you were asking about growing and how do you grow from a small, club into something as large as what we've done is just really listening and participating and getting them and leveraging what we do and duplicating or coming up with their own, because we have 52 state associations. They're like 52 countries. They're all very unique and different. And because of that, it really helped for them to come up with their own ideas, which is why when we were showing the different regional tournaments, it was wonderful to see what they came up with, because they knew their culture, the girls, the number of organizers in that area, the number of parents that would be supportive of it, and the money coming in. And so all that really had a really good play in growing it and leveraging that time. And the monies came in, I think, after the programs. They saw what we were doing. They were encouraged to see that. And so that's why we really thank the St. Louis. I want to really give a huge shout out to the St. Louis Chess Club for bringing those funds in, but not only them, but others as well that have since donated quite a bit of money for the efforts. If that answers your question. Oh, and you asked about the Girl Scouts or scouting program. U.S. Chess does a badge, I believe, Go ahead.
Yes, so some years ago, U.S. Chess and a prominent member of the community worked with the Boy Scouts of America to have a chess merit badge. The Girl Scouts have been much less receptive to either adopting the Boy Scout approach, and Boy Scouts in the U.S. is now a co-ed activity. There was a very significant financial ask to even get a chess merit badge underway with the Girl Scouts. It was, from what I understand, I wasn't party to those conversations, but it was like hundreds of thousands of dollars for them to do the research and the like. And it was just a non-starter for something that a lot of thought and good work had already been done. So that's the sad reality.
Okay, is there... Sorry, do you want to say something, Tim? Or? Yeah.
Just a sort of general observation that we've related here, as Chris has pointed out right at the beginning, it's a very international panel. We're representing all kinds of different societies, cultures, parts of the world. And chess has always been, through its history, reflecting the society that it existed in. So if we look at where chess originated in India, in Persia, in Arabic countries, the chess pieces themselves were reflecting those societies and the stage of development. Then when chess came to Europe in the Middle Ages, we have the development of the powerful queen, which coincided with the powerful queens in Spain and England around that time. Yeah? And nowadays we have different forms of chess organization which reflect the societies in which they exist. As Dmitri talked about in the UAE, yeah? We have very much a kind of activist, very community-driven organization in the United States, which reflects, I think, a lot of the way that people organize all sorts of activities in the United States. In England, we sort of have basically two chess federations. We have the chess federation for children, and when we have the chess federation for the old fogies like me, basically. And bringing those two chess federations together and trying to bridge that horrible generation gap is a huge job, you know. I think at one point England was very progressive. In 70s and 80s we had a lot of chess activity, but those same people who were active then have not passed on the torch to the new generation. We have young adults who are not playing. We have to find answers to these questions, and this is very much tied up with getting more women and girls involved. Thank you.
To answer your question, because there are 52 state associations in the United States, not every state association is very active. So there are some that are much more active than others in terms of bringing in more girls, but they are coming. They're seeing other states participate. New York, for example, their state all-girls state tournament was record-breaking this year. Sophia, if you want to...
I was going to pick on a point Olga was talking about, not having girl events in Norway. And if you look at the model of New York, we have different sections by ratings, not age groups, ratings and age groups. And in the younger divisions, that's where we have most of our players. And for some of them, it's their first tournament. And they're in a safe environment. We have good arbiters. I would say 80% of them are female. And we have a lot of interaction with the parents as well, giving them out information, helping them through the process. And I think it's key to have an all-girls tournament or a championship in Norway. And I think it's about time that you did.
I was about to also say that a lot of these regional startups on these tournaments started 4 years ago. They started out with 12 ladies, 12 girls. I'll let you know that. But in those 4 years, and the organizers themselves saw the potential there. And now several of them have doubled and tripled. One who started at the Mid-Atlantic, I think she had 22. Now she's up over 100. So there is a lot of inspiration, and so everybody starts out small. We all do.
Well, just something really quick. This is speaking to having all-girls tournaments. I'm not a chess player per se, and I got involved because my children all played chess, and then I became very active and interested because I believed in the benefits of chess. I would think that if I were to enter a tournament, a small nurturing environment as a beginner chess player is the best way to get somebody comfortable with that environment and wanting to stay more involved. And New York City, which Sophia is very much involved with the chess community, she not only organized the recent record-breaking all-girls chess tournament for the New York State, but also these local tournaments. And the girls come in droves. And it's just a nice, wonderful environment for the girls to just start becoming more involved in chess. And there may be a number of them that end up dropping out, but for some of them, this is a very nice start for them to become more involved in the chess community. And I think the benefits could be, long-lasting.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry, I wanted just to ask about funding. You said that they start on their own and then apply for some funding. Do you have some system around it, how it happens? And
we were just talking about this, Carol and I were talking about this, about the funding side of it. And so much like anything, in any sport or any activity, they want to see. The people that are donating, they want to see if you're serious about what you're wanting to do and rolling out programs. And it's almost like if one program starts and it's a go and it's a green light and it's successful, then that's exactly what we did with the regionals. And they started picking up on that through the state started picking up, doing state all-girls state tournaments, the girls club room. So it's a combination of different things, but once they started seeing that we were really serious about it, because we were begging, we were knocking on everybody's door, please, please help us. And yet the coaches and the organizers locally were all saying the same thing. How can we get more girls? We have one girl in our club. We have 2 girls. And this is what prompted us to do the girls' clubs at the national level, because there's average about 1,700 chess players at these nationals. I'm not sure, but roughly, I think of 1,200 anywhere, somewhere in there. But it's quite a bit. And out of that, maybe 300 girls are playing out of that. So that's how we ended up creating the girls' club, for that environment, that safe haven environment. And from that, getting the volunteers, signing up, and listening, we have town hall meetings at every single one of the girls' clubs, because we want to hear, because it changes each time. And new families that come in from California or from Texas or from Wyoming, the first time they see this, they're like, wow, this is fantastic, because my daughter has been playing for 7 years and she's maybe seen 2 other girls, she knows 2 other girls that play. So this, it excites them. They go back to they see what we're doing. We take the flyers, we pass them out to others for them to get ideas, and then they come up with their own. That helps.
Maureen, April.
Yeah, it's really just to respond to the points that have been made about Norway's situation. From my understanding of what you were saying, there really isn't a huge problem about empowering women through chess in Norway, because it's going really well. You have lots of women players or girl players, and you were listening to what they said when you did do the separate camp for them. So in just the same way as the girls' clubroom thing arose from what girls wanted, what you're thinking of is also arising from what girls want in your context, in your country. So I don't think there's a clash between the two. I think it's simply a question of, in our different societies, somebody made the point that we've got so many different societies represented at the conference. each society is in a different place with regard to women and chess, and perhaps in a different place with regard to women generally. And we simply have to listen to what the girls at different stages of their chess development, different ages that they're at, what they want, and respond to that. There's no point in coming up with a solution that's going to fit every country. It's just, that's not going to work.
We still have a problem with numbers of girls.
Hmm.
That's why, even though I'm saying that girls don't have any problems to compete against boys, still there are not many of them. And they see, of course, there is a huge gap between scholastic chess. For example, in our club, we have 500 participants, and hundreds of them are girls. But only 20 maybe correspond to active participation in tournaments, camps, etc. So we kind of don't know how to transfer scholastic involvement to more, because
And are you saying there's a difference between boys and girls in this regard? So percentage-wise, would more boys transfer into the competitive field?
yes, and we don't know why, because as I say, I don't notice any big problems. As I say that as soon as they feel safe, and I think that they feel safe mostly because of the level and age, not because of their boys and girls. So if a 15-year girl, total beginner, comes to a club and she's losing to 5-year, 6-year-old children, of course she drops out immediately. But if you find another guy or girl at her age or her level, it feels like, okay, it's all right, we see who is better. Right?
Can I just say that we are officially out of time, but I can see that there's a lot of people who want to go on with this. However, I learned many years ago, keeping people away from their lunch does not make you popular. So I'm going to take one more contribution, I think, unless it's really pressing from somebody who hasn't spoken yet, if you need a pressing question. If not, I'm going to go over, Sophia, and then we're going to wrap up for lunch.
I'd just like to pick up the point that you talked about arbitration. When we expose our players to arbitration, they not only learn how the laws of chess, but one of the things is that when they go to play their opponents, they feel confident that they know what each and every player is supposed to do, and they will not allow any level of intimidation. And I think for the lady over there, maybe you could try also and bring up that program where you're also exposing them to the laws of chess through having an arbiter try and, get them involved in arbitration. Thank you.
Okay, final question.
Well, it's not a question,
Or
but
comment.
comment. So you sort of answered your own question, Olga, if you think carefully that you should move to have girl events and sort of younger sections, look at what their ratings are, and then you will attract them and you will get more competitive players. And that's what we found really worked in New York. When it comes to training, do the open players and the women players get the same amount of training?
You need training for professional chess?
Yeah, like for equal amount?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that recent?
No, it's always been like this. As I said, we once tried to experiment with separating the girls group, and it was very unpopular. That's why for competitive chess, I feel like it's quite okay that they train together, that they play together, but transfer from scholastic chess and further on is hard. And today I was really looking forward to this conference to hear how you actually make beginner girls play in tournaments. When you organize these tournaments, how do you make them come to play?
Okay, this is now getting lunchtime, and I'm going to be unpopular if you're hungry. So, very final comment from the floor, response from the panel, then we'll break for lunch.
It's really just an observation more. I spent many years living in South Africa with two chess-playing children. One was a boy, one was a girl. I tend to go along with Olga in that the girls were equally happy to play the boys. There was really no need to have separate girls sections and separate boys sections. We had tournaments which were an open section and then age groups, and those younger age groups were, if anything, more girls than boys. But we did have the same drop-off when they got to about 13, 14. And I'm not convinced it was because there weren't girls' tournaments. I think there's something else happening that makes the girls drop off. And it was interesting, my daughter carried on playing. My son still plays. My daughter carried on playing until we moved back here. And that's when she stopped. But she played all the way up. And they both played provincial level. In fact, my son played national level in South Africa. It was only when we came here she stopped. So there was no encouragement for her to go to a local club here and carry on. My son did. But we even had the situation where when you went to, say, championships, there were girls' teams and boys' teams, sort of national championships, international championships. Girls would opt to play in the open section rather than play in the boys' section.
I'm going to respond to this and close the meeting, otherwise we will be here.
Yeah.
Very, honestly,
Yeah.
very, very quick.
Real quick. To answer your question and your question, first of all, we have the 2-for-1 where you bring a friend with you who doesn't know how to play chess. They get a prize of some sort. That's been quite popular. To answer your question, though, the reason why we have all girls and separate girls is not necessarily for the girls that have been playing in advance. It's really for the beginners and the ones that are playing more for fun and not competitive. But we always have that option. They can always jump to those in the open sections, and that's why it gives the flexibility for that girl.
Okay, I think now that is definitely lunchtime. Thank you all for coming, and if you would like to thank the panel in the traditional manner, I'd be grateful.